So this is how it begins, not with a trade alert, not with a retirement announcement, but with a fracture, a deep, spreading fracture inside one of the most anticipated partnerships in WNBA history. Caitlin Clark, the generational phenom who was supposed to lead the Indiana Fever into a new golden age, is slowly, methodically, and perhaps inevitably slipping away. Not with a bang, but with a quiet rumble of discontent. And if you've been paying attention, you already know this isn't just about basketball. It's about something far more explosive. From the outside, everything looked perfect. The hometown hero drafted into a franchise desperate for a savior. Packed arenas, soaring jersey sales, TV ratings through the roof. But beneath the surface, the warning signs were everywhere. Something was off. Something was wrong. And now, that something is unraveling in front of our eyes. This isn't just rookie friction. It's a relationship built on mismatched expectations and structural failures. The question isn't if it will break. It's when you don't need insider access to see it. You just need to connect the dots. Look at the body language on the court, the clipped answers in interviews, the play calling that never quite fits. This isn't a bump in the road. This is the road crumbling beneath them. Clark was brought in to be the face of the league, but instead, she's trapped in a system that seems more interested in managing her than unleashing her. And now, she's fighting her way out of that cage. It all started with a few innocent-sounding quotes, easy to overlook if you weren't listening carefully. But make no mistake, Caitlin Clark has been sending smoke signals. And if you decode them, the message is crystal clear. She's frustrated, she's tired, and she's done waiting. The air between her and the Fever isn't tense. It's electric. A storm is coming, and the league better be ready. Because when Caitlin Clark finally walks away or demands to be set free, it won't be quiet. It'll be an earthquake. When a superstar calls out her own system, it's not a critique. It's a red flag. Caitlin Clark didn't just ask for more touches in transition. She declared where power lives. And it wasn't a casual comment. It was a cry for help wrapped in the armor of professionalism. She told the world, "I'm not being used right," and anyone who knows basketball knew exactly what that meant. This wasn't about ego, it was about identity. Clark built her career on open court chaos, logo threes, and fearless tempo. That's who she is. That's what made her a legend at Iowa. And now, the Fever are asking her to play inside a box. Not just a figurative one, but a literal system that suppresses her greatest gift, unpredictability. The transition game isn't just a tactic. It's her soul on the court. That's where she shines, where she devastates defenses, where the crowd erupts and the cameras can't look away. And now, that flame is being smothered, not by defenders, but by design, by the very people who were supposed to elevate her. Every time Clark is forced to slow down the offense, to hand the ball off, to stand in the corner, while others run the set, another piece of that spark dies. You can see it in her eyes. That fire, it's still there, but it's being doused by hesitation born from a system that doesn't trust her instincts. And that's the real betrayal. Because when you cage a lion, don't act surprised when it starts to roar. The system that was supposed to protect her is the very one tearing her down. Coach Stephanie White may have intended to ease Clark into the league, but her plan has done the opposite. Dual ball handlers? Shared control? Sounds nice on paper, until you remember who you're dealing with. Caitlin Clark isn't just another guard. She's a walking highlight reel, a once-in-a-generation talent. And instead of giving her the reins, they clipped her wings. You don't protect Clark from pressure. You unleash her on it. That's what she does. She devours it. Pressure is her oxygen. And now, she's being force-fed a system that suffocates her game. The Fever didn't just miscalculate. They fundamentally misunderstood the assignment. And the fans see it. The media sees it. The numbers see it. Indiana's offense stalls when they pull Clark out of rhythm. It's like watching someone try to play Mozart with mittens. You can feel the resistance, the tension, the missed opportunities mounting like a ticking clock. This isn't a learning curve. It's a philosophical clash. Clark wants freedom. The Fever wants structure. And somewhere between those two forces, something vital is being lost. Something that may never be recovered if changes aren't made. And fast. Because a superstar in a cage doesn't stay quiet forever. Then came the injury. And the moment everything changed. During a brutal game, Clark crumpled to the floor, wincing in visible pain. She clutched her groin, eyes glossy with tears. The crowd held its breath. Her teammates hesitated. It was a moment of raw, human vulnerability. And how did the organization respond? With a shrug. Coach White's post-game comment wasn't just dismissive. It was cold. "She's feeling a little something," she said, as if Clark had stubbed her toe. As if this wasn't the most valuable player in the league. Economically, emotionally, culturally, fighting through pain on national television. That phrase, "a little something," sparked an inferno. Fans exploded online. Analysts were stunned. "What do you mean, a little something? She's hurt. She's playing through it. And the franchise can't even issue a proper injury update?" This wasn't just bad PR. It was a reflection of a deeper disconnect, a fracture in values. The kind of fracture that doesn't show up on an MRI, but in the way trust begins to rot from the inside. And once trust is gone, everything else follows. Behind the scenes, the whispers got louder. People close to Clark, off the record, careful with their words, started hinting that the frustration wasn't just tactical. It was personal, organizational, existential. The woman pulling in millions in revenue was being treated like a cog, not a cornerstone. Clark isn't just a player. She's a brand, a movement, a phenomenon. And yet, the Fever seems stuck in the past, treating her like just another name on the roster. That might work for some rookies, but not this one. Imagine waking up every day knowing you're the reason arenas are packed, that your jersey is flying off shelves, that your presence is rewriting the league's narrative, and then walking into practice and being asked to fit in rather than lead. It's insulting, it's infuriating, and it's unsustainable. No one expects special treatment, but there's a difference between humility and humiliation. And right now, Clark is navigating that razor-thin line with the poise of a pro, but not without cost. Because when you start to feel like property instead of a partner, the exit door starts to glow. And that's where Aaron Kane comes in, not just as an agent, but as a disruptor. Kane isn't waiting for 2028 when Clark's rookie contract ends. She's planning now. She's watching the league's moves. She's reading the fine print of the new CBA, and she's making her own. You see, the WNBA Players Association opted out of the current agreement in October 2024. That means everything is negotiable. Salaries, free agency rules, movement clauses, and that's Kane's playground. With nearly 88% of the 2025 All-Stars becoming free agents in 2026, chaos is coming. And Kane? She's positioning Clark to be the lightning rod, not just for a team change, but for a league-wide power shift. This isn't about one player switching jerseys. It's about tearing down the wall that's kept superstars boxed in. If Kane succeeds, if Clark becomes a symbol of that revolution, then every WNBA franchise will be forced to play by a new set of rules. And Indiana, they'll be the case study of what not to do. Because while Indiana fumbles the present, Clark and Kane are writing the future. They're not waiting for permission. They're seizing the moment. And that moment, it's coming fast. Clark's viral 36-foot three in Iowa wasn't just a shot. It was a statement, a reminder, a warning. She may be under contract, but her heart, her influence, her gravity, it's already drifting elsewhere, and the league knows it. That image, Clark grinning in front of a roaring Iowa crowd, injured but unbowed, was an accident. It was a message, a call to remember who she really is when she's unchained. And it made Indiana look small by comparison. While Indiana manages minutes, Clark makes magic. While the Fever play it safe, she takes risks. And that dichotomy, it's becoming impossible to ignore. Because fans don't come for systems. They come for supernovas. And Clark? She's the brightest star in the sky. You don't dim that light. You build your world around it. Everything we're seeing, the quotes, the body language, the age and appearances, it's not noise. It's choreography. A slow, deliberate campaign to build pressure from every angle. From media, from fans, from inside the boardrooms of the WNBA itself. And it's working. Every controversy, every quote, every injury flare-up, it's all stacking up like evidence, like kindling. And the match is getting closer. This isn't a coincidence. It's not drama for the sake of headlines. It's strategic, calculated. Every piece of tension you felt around Caitlin Clark's name this season has been part of something much bigger. The signs aren't random. They're deliberate brushstrokes, painting a very specific picture. One where the face of the league is not just resisting the system, she's reshaping it. And if you look closely, you can see the dominoes lining up. One push is all it'll take. Because this isn't just about getting her the ball in transition anymore. It's about transition, period. A transition away from outdated organizational control and toward an era where players like Clark call the shots, where they aren't just asked to perform, they're empowered to lead. And Indiana, they're stuck clinging to a power structure that's already collapsing. They're still acting like they have time. But time in this game is a luxury, and Clark knows it. Behind the scenes, her team isn't sitting idle. They're documenting, compiling every tactical misuse, every injury downplay, every eye roll on camera. It's all being filed away like legal evidence, not for court, but for negotiation. Because when the 2026 free agency tsunami hits, Caitlin Clark won't just be a name on a list. She'll be the reason that list even exists. And agents across the league are watching, taking notes, and getting ready to follow her lead. And here's the kicker. The longer Indiana resists, the stronger Clark's case becomes. The more they try to manage her, the clearer it becomes that they're not capable of evolving with her. Every post-game soundbite, every awkward sideline exchange, every missed opportunity to rally behind her only makes her argument more bulletproof. The team that was supposed to be her foundation has become her foil. The tension isn't just rising, it's boiling. So when that dam breaks, don't be surprised. Be ready, because what's coming isn't just a transfer request or a contract buyout. It's a reckoning. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing a long game, she's rewriting the playbook. And the brilliance of her strategy lies in the fact that she doesn't need to torch Indiana publicly. She lets the optics do it for her. While they speak in pressers, she speaks through performance. While they spin narratives, she drops 30-foot daggers. The scoreboard might show wins and losses, but the real battle is playing out in perception, and she's winning. Think about it. Who's controlling the conversation right now? Not the Fever, not even the WNBA league office. It's Clark. Every headline, every viral clip, every fan debate, it's orbiting her, and that gravitational pull is what separates stars from supernovas. She's not just surviving the league, she's bending it toward her will. And the resistance? It's only accelerating the collapse. And now, every choice Indiana makes feels reactive. They're not steering the ship anymore. They're bailing water. Because every move they make is scrutinized through the lens of, how does this affect Caitlin Clark? And that's the power shift Kane and her team wanted all along. To make Clark impossible to ignore, uncontainable, and eventually unmanageable for a team still playing by old rules. That's not arrogance. That's leverage. And when the new CBA arrives, it'll be the wrecking ball that tears down the wall between franchise control and player freedom. And Clark? She'll be the one holding the blueprint for what comes next. Whether she stays or goes, she's already changed the terms of engagement. And that's how revolutions start. Not with fire, but with friction. We're watching a new paradigm emerge right in front of us. A world where rookie contracts don't mean obedience. Where team loyalty isn't a given. It's earned. And Caitlin Clark is the test case. The prototype. The pressure point. Every step she takes. Every look of disapproval she casts on the bench. Every off-court decision her camp makes. It all sends the same message. You're not in charge of me. Not anymore. And fans feel that. They rally behind it. They've watched her sacrifice, perform, lead, and now endure. And in their eyes, she's not just a basketball player anymore. She's a symbol of the fight every star player wages behind the scenes, of the pain they absorb when they're told to be quiet, stay humble, accept the plan. But Clark, she's had enough of plans. She's rewriting them. You can sense the league bracing for it. You can hear it in the way commentators tiptoe around controversy. You can see it in the way league officials avoid commenting on her injury. Everyone is walking on eggshells, because when your biggest asset starts asking questions, everyone else starts listening. And suddenly, silence isn't safety, it's complicity. That's what makes this moment so powerful. Because Clark's not demanding anything publicly. She doesn't have to. The pressure she applies comes from precision, not volume. From knowing exactly when to speak and when to let others speak for her. And right now, the fans, the analysts, the commentators, they're doing the heavy lifting. They're the chorus to her quiet resistance. And Indiana, they're out of tune. The most dangerous player is the one who knows her worth. And Caitlin Clark? She doesn't just know it, she's quantifying it. Her stats, her merch, her viewership impact. It's all data, all leverage. She is, in no uncertain terms, the most valuable asset in the WNBA. And she's starting to realize she deserves to be treated like it, not just in endorsement deals, but in organizational philosophy. And when that awareness meets frustration, you get movement, not always in the form of a trade request, but in posture, in tone, in presence. You see it in how she walks on the court now. There's purpose in her step. There's something boiling under the surface. And it's only a matter of time before it spills over. Because no amount of PR spin can erase the feeling of being sidelined in your own story. It's a ticking time bomb, and the clock is getting louder. Because for every game she plays, the stakes rise. For every pass she doesn't get, for every scheme that limits her, for every practice where she's not the centerpiece, another chip falls. And when the final one hits, that's when the tower crumbles. Not because Clark threw a tantrum, but because the structure was never built to hold her weight. She's not asking for the kingdom. She is the kingdom. And now, she's wondering why she's been cast as a pawn in her own empire. Indiana had a chance to be the launch pad of a new era. Instead, they're becoming the cautionary tale. The what not to do in the age of player empowerment. And once that label sticks, it's hard to peel off. Players talk. Agents listen. Reputations don't fade. They calcify. And right now, Indiana's is hardening into something cold and uninviting. So here we are, at the edge, the league trembling with possibility. Fans watching every step, every quote, every silence. Because Caitlin Clark has stopped trying to blend in and started preparing to break out. And when that moment comes, it won't just reshape Indiana. It'll redraw the entire WNBA map. And all of us will remember where we were the day she said, "Enough." Because that won't just be the end of a chapter. It'll be the start of a movement. One that began not with a bang, but with a fracture. And from that fracture, a revolution was born. This isn't about a trade demand. It's about leverage, about rewriting the entire system so that players like Clark, who are the league, finally get treated like it. And the brilliance of it all? She never had to raise her voice. Because sometimes the quietest storms are the ones that leave the deepest scars. So what now? Can Indiana salvage this? Can they change? Maybe, but the clock is ticking. Every moment they cling to their old philosophy is another step toward irrelevance. And make no mistake, Clark's camp is ready. They don't want drama. They want results. But if drama is what it takes to get change, then so be it. The revolution doesn't always start with fireworks. Sometimes it starts with a whisper, a wince, a walk to the bench with no update, a smile in a rival gym. And by the time you realize what's happening, it's already too late. Because Clark didn't just expose Indiana, she exposed the system. And now, the league has a choice: evolve or be left behind.